As someone who got 6 out of 8 distinctions in my final examinations in matric, having gotten 7 distinctions in my prelims, there are quite a number of things that I'd like to talk to you about that will ensure that you get a full house of distinctions in the final exams. Hey there, if you're new to this channel, my name is KOKETSO and I'm a medical student at the University of Free State. And in this video, I wanted to talk about a few tips that will help you ace your final exams and ensure that you're well prepared to do your level best and ensure that you see a full house of distinctions when you look at that newspaper in the beginning of next year. And if you are looking for these tips, then I think that this video is for you. With final exams around the corner, it is very important to note that most of you are really stressed, anxious, and you're feeling a bit gutted. And it is very understandable because your final exam results are the most important results that you will get in your high school or academic career. Because not only will you use them to apply for bursaries, to apply for universities, but you'll also use them to apply for a job. Even after you've graduated as a doctor, you've graduated as a lawyer, they will ask you to attach your matric results in that job application. Your matric results will form part of your CV because they are that important. These are not just results, they reflect your attitude, they reflect your work ethic. Seeing someone who has 1 distinction out of 9 subjects shows that this person is a person who focuses on one thing and does not pay attention to other things that are equally as important. Seeing someone who managed to get 70s in every single subject shows that it's someone who's well balanced and makes sure that everything goes in a way that is similar but not the same. Seeing someone who has half distinctions and half that are almost close to distinctions shows someone who's focused, knows how to focus on one thing but does not necessarily neglect other things. So these results really reflect a lot about you, and that's why it's important to make sure that you do your level best, you apply yourself, and you do so excellently. Make sure that you get distinctions, what you're looking for. If you're looking for 60s and 70s, make sure that you get that, and just ensure that you perform in the highest possible level for you. But now, without any further ado, I'd like us to get into the tips. Now, the first tip is that you need to create a study timetable or a study schedule. And what this is going to help you with is you will know what to study, how long to study it for, what exactly to study, when to study it, and how to study it. What I mean is, perhaps going to sleep today, I know that tomorrow I'm going to study mathematics and I'll study for 2 hours from 9 to 11. And then from 11, I'll take a break for 30 minutes. Starting from 11:30, I'll study physics for 3 hours from that time to whatever time. Today, when I go to sleep, I'll sleep with a very peaceful mind because I know that I know what is supposed to happen tomorrow. I don't have to wake up and think, okay, what should I study today? What should I focus on? Because I've already planned. I have a schedule that is set in place that allows me to know what am I supposed to do today. A schedule that helps me know what's there to do, what's there to start with, and. And not only will this having of a study timetable or a schedule help you with tackling the tasks, but it'll also help you alleviate the stress, because knowing what to do, knowing what you have to do, and knowing when you have to do it gives you that sense of direction and hence a bit less of stressful energy. If tomorrow what I'm studying is mathematics and I'm starting on page 243, when I go to sleep tonight, I have the textbook open in 243. I have my book open on the page where I'm going to start studying. I have my pen there, my calculator, and everything is just sitting there. Now I do the same thing. I leave my iPad open. I leave my laptop open. The laptop is open to the textbook page that I want. If the iPad is what I'm going to be using for a YouTube video, I have it open on that video that I'm going to watch tomorrow morning. And it allows me to start studying immediately at the time that I say I'm going to study. If I say I'm going to study at 9, at 8:55, I'm sitting down, and studying does not have to, I don't have to take out a book, I don't have to, because everything is already there, it's waiting for me. So setting up your study time, your study table rather, to make sure that you are ready to start studying when you have to start studying is something that is very helpful, and I dare you to try it. Now, the next thing that you want to do is to focus on understanding the key concepts rather than on your own memorization. And what this is, it is very important, and it is actually much more applicable in practical subjects like mathematics, subjects like physical sciences. it has often come quite handy for me in things like life sciences, where in mathematics, I'll use maths and physics for example. When you do past papers, you see a lot of questions, you see familiarity, you see, I've seen this type of question before, I've seen this. But understanding this topic, vertical projectile motion, understanding electrodynamics, when you see a question that is different or a question that you've never seen before, it allows you to be able to know how to think. It allows you to know how to answer it, how to approach that type of a question. Why? It's because you understand the topic and you understand the concept, the background behind it. Not necessarily that you memorized how to answer this question, because as if now the question comes in a flipped manner, where now they're not asking you to calculate the speed, but they give you the speed and they ask you to calculate something else. If you don't understand the concept, you will not be able to answer the question. So making sure that you understand the concept and the topic itself is what will allow you to make sure that you give your best answer possible and you look at the thing in a very systematic way. For argument's sake, as I've said in a previous video about life sciences, in the topic about the ear, there was a question that came in my prelims that said, why are the semicircular canals in 90 degrees to each other? To someone who does not, someone who memorized, you don't know that answer because it's not in the textbook. Not that I know of. But if you understood the concept, then you try to make sense of it to say, they said that the semicircular canals help with balance, right? And if I fall to that direction, I have the x-axis there. If I fall forward, I have the y-axis there. And if I fall like this, I have the z-axis. So they are set in 90 degrees to each other to allow balance in a 360 direction or a 180 degrees direction. So you see, being able to answer that, I didn't do that by memorizing it or seeing it somewhere. I had to make sense of it in an exam paper as I actually think about it. So understanding the concept itself is what will allow you to be able to answer most questions that come in your final exams. The third tip that you need to know is you need to swallow your pride. If there exists a time where it is crucial for you to swallow your pride, it is now. You have to swallow your pride. Ask questions. Allow yourself to be an idiot. Ask questions. If you don't understand something, ask your teacher. If you can't ask your teacher, ask your friend, because yes, it is known that when you get a concept explained to you by your peers or your friends, it makes much more sense than a teacher, because the way they explain it is the way they understand it, right? Because a teacher has taught this topic for like 15 years, has taught like 6 different grade 12s, so they understand it more each year. But asking a friend who's doing it for the first time with you this year will explain it better, because just like you, they are also learning it for the first time. And it is very important to ask questions. Swallow your pride, ask questions. And when I don't have any teacher or friend to explain the questions to me, I use tools like Google. I utilize things like ChatGPT. Let's say for argument's sake, I'm reading the brachial plexus is made of nerves. I'm like, okay, hold on. What is a plexus? I go to Google and I ask that. Let's say I'm reading physics and be like, vertical projectile motion describes motion that is unidirectional. I'm like, hold on, what is unidirectional? And I go search that. So it is very important to use the resources that you have. The fact that you're able to watch this video means you have access to either data or Wi-Fi. Utilize that. When there's something you don't understand, don't just skip. So data, just take your time, understand it. Ask Google, ask ChatGPT, use the resources that are around you. And that's why at times I use things like study guides, I use online resources, and it is also the reason why I partnered with the sponsors of today's video, Brilliant.
Brilliant is a popular online learning platform which offers guided interactive problem solving that is effective and fun. I personally have been using Brilliant's computer science and programming course for quite a while now, and it's been very instrumental in helping me develop problem-solving skills, enhance critical thinking, and basically fill knowledge gaps in my data structure and best practices. Brilliant's interactive lessons and exercises make learning fun and just rewarding, because then I can apply concepts directly to my projects and see tangible results. Additionally, it lets me monitor my development to see how far I've come and how proficient I am at what I'm learning. So whether you're a complete beginner or an expert, Brilliant makes it easy for you to understand with simple explanations that make learning efficient. If this sounds good to you, then try Brilliant today and unlock your coding potential. Do this by clicking on the link in the description box down below. Go to brilliant.org/koketso/ and you will get a free 30 days premium trial and 20% off an annual premium subscription. So let's get back into the video.
And the next tip is, guess what? Past papers. This is so cliche, you've heard it so many times. I don't think there's any academic video that you've watched about exams that did not suggest past papers. And that's because that's how important it is. You just cannot stress this enough. Past papers are the most important resource that you can use as a student in general, not only in matric, as a student in general, because it allows you to see how the questions are asked, the format of questions, and you doing past papers at home, time yourself. Make sure that the environment that you have is simulating the exam environment. So when I did my past papers, if I was writing mathematics, I would set the 3 hours of maths. And on my book, okay, I didn't have a desk. I actually used an ironing board. You need to make ends meet. So you can't say, I want to study timetable again. I used an ironing board. So on my ironing board, let's call it a study desk. On my study desk, I had only that paper that I'm going to write and a book, because I can't, and I had a book there, the paper that I'm going to be writing with. I had a pen, pencil, highlighter, basically what you use in an exam setting. No textbook, no phone there, nothing, absolutely nothing. The phone that I had was setting time, but it was sitting way there. And if I wanted to check the time, I'll just look back and I see I have 30 minutes left, and then I continue writing. But simulate an exam environment, so that by the time you get to an exam, you're mentally in the game, like you're mentally prepared. You will just have this feeling of, I've done this before. The only difference is there's someone's father and mother just walking around here, invigilating or whatever they think they're doing. Like, just make sure that when you write your past papers, you simulate that exam environment as much as possible. This will help you mentally, trust me. When you write an exam, you will feel no feeling of anxiety whatsoever. Panic attacks are real, trust me. I've had one, and I've spoken about it in a previous video, and I'm willing to talk about it in a future video. But the point here is past papers, past papers, past papers. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to identify your weaknesses and target them specifically. Now, instead of wasting your time trying to crack topics that are difficult for you to understand, or wasting your time trying to make sure that you study everything equally, which is not realistic at all, you need to focus on your weaknesses. Hear me out. Some of y'all here have sent me DMs telling me I get 90 for what, I get 99 for maths, and then I get 20 for Afrikaans, I get 30 for... That is not a good reflection on your transcript. As I said, it makes you come across as a person who only focuses on one thing and neglects the rest. It shows you to be a type of person who only focuses on what they love, and if you don't love something, you just won't care about it. And that's not a good reflection on the university, on an employer, or anything. So you want to make sure that you focus on your weaknesses. For argument's sake, my weakness for my prelims and grade 12, school in general, was Afrikaans, right? Which I got a distinction for at the end of the year because of what I did, which I'm telling you to do now. I spent my time, instead of practicing maths and physics, which I'd been getting 90s for throughout the entire term, throughout the entire year rather, I decided that for final exams, I'll spend most of my time practicing Afrikaans, reading the story, watching the movie, translating everything. I changed my phone language to Afrikaans. What else did I do? I spoke about all these things in the Afrikaans video. I would do many Afrikaans past papers. Like, I even started enjoying Afrikaans. And at the end of the year, I got an 80% for Afrikaans. 80 on the dot. I got an 80. But what I'm saying is, make sure that you focus on your weaknesses. Make sure there's that balance. Instead of getting 99 for maths, 100 for physics, and then 50% for everything else, why can't you get 80 for everything? Think about it. And finally, what you want to do is you want to pray for guidance. If you believe, you want to pray for guidance. Before you start a study session, you pray. You pray for focus, you pray for vision, you pray that God allows you to study the right things, and just pray to your God. If you believe in ancestors, you believe in the Christian God, you believe in Allah, Buddha, pray to your God before you study, pray after studying, pray before your exam, pray after the exam. Basically, what you want to do is you want to involve God into your preparation process. And again, I repeat, this is for those that believe. And I actually asked a friend, and she told me that, okay, you need to find verses that inspire you, like Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 to 7, which reminds us not to be anxious and to bring our concerns to God. It's like a verse that I spoke about also in one of my videos. I think it's Mark 11, verse 24, that says, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it shall be yours. And that verse, I carried it throughout my entire matric year, from the first day to the last day, I kept telling myself, okay, we are getting 90 today for life science. Whew, thank you, God. I really appreciate the 90 you've given me, and then boom, I'd get 90. I mean, it does not happen like that, but I really believe that hard work pays and prayer multiplies.
Nice.
And so, thank you for watching this video. Thank you to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. And if you have any exam strategies or preparation tips that I have not mentioned, let us know down in the comment section below, because it'll also help me. I'm also a student. I need them for exams as well, because generally I make videos based on the mistakes I make, my experiences, and things that I ask other people who have done as well, if not better than I did in my exams. And if you want to see a video about how you can set an exam study timetable, I'll have that as a clickable video just now. And yeah, otherwise, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay happy and healthy, and peace.